Thank you very much. Just small correction, not from Hungary, from Croatia. No problem. So my name is Karlo Smid. I am an Elixir consultant in my company Taming, working for various clients. And today I'm going to tell you a story how we tamed 20 million Oban jobs in production. A little about me. I created first. Hello. It's better, yeah. So I created my first C core dummy in '94. I created my first Beam core dummy in 2016. I'm Elixir consultant for various clients at my company Taming. I like to walk a lot, sometimes I do stand-up comedy, enjoy solving Rubik Cube. I am probably the world chess player on retries.org platform. You can challenge me and find out about this fact. What is the agenda of this story? First, what is Oban? Then, why use Oban and not just Gen server with ETS tables? Architecture where we implemented Oban. Problem that we have, solution of this problem. As a bonus tip, what we learned about Oban along this journey. And finally, shouting to Shannon and Parker, author of this great library. So what is Oban? Oban is a job processing library written in Elixir. For persistence of these jobs, it's using a database, Postgres or SQLite. Job describes what to do, worker describes how to do it, and it has 3 tiers. It has free, it has Oban Pro, and Enterprise Edition. So why not Gen server, not just using Gen server with ETS tables? There are 4 main reasons. First is transaction safety. So Oban, everything that does related to Oban job, on manipulation on Oban jobs, is done in out of the box in the Ecto database transaction context. Worker, when start processing Oban job, all manipulation on Oban job data in Oban job tables is also done in this context of the Ecto database transaction. So side effect is if there is a worker failure while processing Oban job, you get out of the box rollback of the changes on Oban job table, also on changes that are done, that are done on application tables, on the tables of your application. Second important reason is persistence. It's using database, Postgres or SQLite. Observability out of the box. Also, out of the box, all changes on Oban job metadata are accompanied by telemetry event. Or worker failures are also accompanied by telemetry event. For example, we are listening for the worker failures. This is most interest of us. We are sending those telemetry events to the Datadog, our choice of the telemetry backend, and then we create Slack messages as alarms for errors that are interest of us. And fourth important reason is retries or number of attempts. This is the property of Oban worker queue. So this is number 0 or greater than 0, and when it's greater than 0, when Oban worker fails in processing Oban job, it will try to redo it, but not immediately, because you don't want to hammer your database, or you don't want to hammer some external system with which Oban worker is communicating. So out of the box, Oban implements backoff algorithm, which exponentially time distribution of future requests of those reprocessing of Oban jobs. For example, we have number of retries 20, and 20th retry is scheduled 2 weeks in the future from the last retry. If you're not satisfied with this out-of-the-box backoff algorithm, you can implement your own, because this is simple Elixir behavior. So this is architecture, where we implemented Oban. So you simple Gen server event listener with some addition with some framework. We got bad event. Let's say that this event is bad. Then we create bad job and store it in bad queue. So first architectural decision is that we have separate worker queue for each event. Reason is very simple. It's much easier to investigate errors of Oban worker failures. Then we are using for Oban worker, chunk worker, which comes from the world of the Oban Pro. It processes jobs in the chunks. Our size of chunk is 1,000, and reason is very simple. We are storing data into ClickHouse. So this is transactional database, and which operates much better when you're inserting data in the batches of rows. So that second architectural decision was also very straightforward. Then chunk worker has some business logic for currency rate microservice must be contacted, but there could be error. So we extract failed jobs into failed rates queue. This is dedicated queue, like dead letter queue for the chunk worker. More about that, why we're doing that, will be in bonus tip number 4. And the fourth architecture decision for persistence, we are using Postgres. From our side, this is proven database with which we have no any additional issues. A little bit of source code. So you can see this is the event listener. It gets, in this case, bat function. This is a framework created by the client with Elixir Macros Magic. We get bat event. We create bat job. Bat payload is string, where we do Erlang term to binary and then encode this x64-based string. And we get first benefit of Oban. Oban insert, inserting that job. There is no any try catch, because if this is all done by the Oban, if everything is okay, we tell our external system producer of events, you can forget about it, we accepted it. But if there is error, so no try catch, just simple error from, that you get from Oban insert, which takes care about the ecto database, the ecto transactional context. We notify external system, please try again, but with your own backup algorithm, we don't want to hammer us. Chunk processor, you can see this is Oban Pro World, properties, the name of the queue, size of the queue, timeout in milliseconds. So this worker will run when there are fresh new 1,000 jobs, or if it passed from the last run 5 seconds, whichever condition is met first. And this is Oban macro, where we defined the job. You can see that our payload of the job named bat is a string. And these are settings for the ClickHouse. Second part of the Oban worker, chunk worker is the process function. You can see that in Oban world, in Oban Pro world, name of the function is process. In free Oban, if you use it, the name is perform. You can see that we are receiving the list of jobs. We enum through them, we decode them, and then we do the pattern matching on the payload. Reason is we changed the payload, so we had 2 versions of the payload. This could be much easier done. This will be bonus tip number 1. But in both cases, we contact this currency rate microservice. We try to get amount euro. This could fail. We do this try rescue in both cases. Also, this could be done better. I will answer this as my first question in QA. If there is issue with this contacting for the amount euro currency rate, we set it to nil. Reason is simple, so we go enum map through this. We know that amount euro nil is problematic job. Set it to failed currency rates, dedicated queue, which is not chunk worker, but regular worker. Also body is string, and number of attempts in 1. Basically, I will explain that in bonus tip number 4 while we are doing that queue. If there is amount euro, this is ready to go for the ClickHouse. So what went wrong? First, we need to understand Oban job states. So we have start states, executing states, and end states. When you do Oban insert, job is in available state. Then you have option to do Oban insert with scheduled add attribute. Then Oban job is in scheduled state. So some preconditions must be met for the Oban to start moving a job from available state to executing state. For example, it must get database connection. When this is met, job is executing, Oban worker is working on it, and if everything is okay, this is what we want, end state is completed state. If there is an error, a number of attempts for this worker queue is 0, end state discarded state. We don't want that. If number of attempts is greater than 0, then we go into loop retriable state, available state, executing state, where retriable state basically is scheduled state, where job is scheduled with some timestamp in the future, and that timestamp is defined by this backoff algorithm, exponentially time distribution. Number of attempts is exhausted. We go to end state, discarded state. This is what we don't want. All start states, scheduled, available, retriable state could be canceled, end state canceled, using Oban web or programmatically using Oban interface. So what went wrong? We got 20 million Oban jobs just sitting in available state. Nothing was moving into executing state. We got back in currency rate logic, and with number of retries 20, even with this backoff algorithm, what happened? We hammered the Postgres database. We saw the very popular error in the application logs. Oban could not obtain database connection, so we got database connection error. Oban could not obtain from the connection pool in default 15 seconds database connection. So what to do? First, we needed to understand what this available state, all these states mean, in order to write comprehensive ticket report for Oban Pro, which is Elixir forum with Oban tag. We got the answer under 4 hours from Parker, mostly due to time difference, and step-by-step guide what to do. So first, pause incoming traffic. Architecture allows us even to pause it by the event, so bad queue could be paused by itself. Then, of course, resolve the bug. Oban Web and Oban Pro update to latest version. This is always good to have. And the most important feature is setting Oban notifier mechanism, which is by default Oban for notify mechanism. It needs to operate. It's using the Postgres notify, which is okay, but it puts additional workload on the Postgres, and with our million of messages, that hammered basically the Postgres. So Oban notifies PG. PG stands for process groups, so we know when that leads. Oban is using for notified mechanism Elixir cluster messaging. We were using already Elixir cluster, using lib cluster with 3 nodes, so we were able to set this, basically, that was a crucial change that helped us. Then some housekeeping on the Oban job tables are indexing and vacuuming, and then we were ready to start moving available jobs to help a little bit to get started Postgres. We started moving all available jobs in the chunks with 100,000 to scheduled state scheduled 1 hour in the future with this basically simple SQL query that we are calling Gardener. So with this, we were ready to resume traffic. We observed with Oban Web, and we started notifying there was executing jobs, and with several answers of this SQL query, and in 3 days, those 20 million jobs were not lost or were moved to completed state. So what we learned along the way? So remember how we had here in the process function of the Oban worker, we had this pattern matching on the payload. This could be done much easier if you use, when you create Oban job, in definition of Oban job, you set this version argument. You set it to 1. Why? Because probably in the future you will change the body of your Oban job, and then you can set version 2, you deploy, and because of the backlog, especially when you have million of the messages, at some point in the time you will have in Oban job tables still version 1 and new version 2, without version 2. Then with simple functional matching on perform function, and on version argument, not on because payload could be complicated, you can call handle v1, handle v2, and at the same time you can process both messages until the backlog is done. Bonus tip 2, remember how we have in definition of the chunk worker. This is definition of the queue, but it's not enough just to have it in this use Oban. Basically, this is calling the macro. You also need to put it in config EXS file. If you miss it, there will be no compilation errors or warnings. Your jobs will be just sitting in available state. They will be not moved in executing, but system is okay. Bonus tip 3, how to observe Oban. We are using Oban to observe Oban. We are using simple, for the free Oban, it's called plugin. Probably if you use Oban, you use that plugin cron. Perform function is called, the job does not matter. We call this every 5 minutes, and we call Oban Met library. Oban Met library is cornerstone library for Oban Web. It's giving you a value statistic on Oban. And with Oban Met latest full count group state, you get the counts of the state. So if available state is greater than 1,000, we are sending telemetry event to our backend for telemetry, which is Datadog, create alarm in the form of Slack message, something fishy is going on with our available state. And finally, bonus tip 4, why we have this, let's say, dead letter queue or failed currency rates queue. So this is Oban Web. And this is, every worker has it as chunk worker. What we noticed, our payload is string, so we have payload, we have error. Okay, this is example with no error, but if you have error, you will get here the error exception, especially exception if you do not handle error case. Then we hit retry, let process, and job passed. So what happened? So we realized that basically payload and errors for Oban chunk worker are not in sync, because Parker said worker works on the list of jobs, so you cannot guarantee always that this is in sync. So what we are doing, basically remember that we have this amount euro nil problematic job, but this could be done better. I will answer that in Q&A as my first question. So failed currency rates is a regular Oban job. It could be pro or from the free tier. With number of attempts 1, we only want to have reprocessing of the process of the problematic job. Why? So we have in Oban web, here it will state failed currency rates worker. So we have in sync payload and the error. And bonus tip 5, Oban Pro has interesting feature, which is dynamic cron. As its name says, you can manipulate dynamically cron jobs programmatically. But you must set one important feature. So cron tab, this is the same as in free Oban. For example, you want to stop this job, you delete it, redeploy, Oban is still executing this job because it's in Oban job table. You need to set sync mode automatic. Also, this is in the documentation of Oban Pro. We miss it, but it was not any harm for the production. And authors of the Oban, if you do not want Shannon and Parker, I had pleasure to meet them in Zagreb. There was users Clues conference, Unis conference. They explained how they monetized Oban, this Oban Pro part. And you can see Parker on his left hand has Oban Pro logo. And fun fact, they shared with us that this is the rock from the ring on the Shannon's left hand. So Oban pays. So resources, this is my original blog post explaining this problem. Forum link when we ask for help, you can check it, it's a free. It's a public Oban training. So we got this link in as a part of Elixir forum link because they are busy, but they created a set of live books for free Oban with a lot of tips and tricks. Basically, there is not yet book on Oban, but I'm not sure there will be from them because they are really busy developing Oban. But this is excellent starting point. You will learn a lot of tricks from the Oban. Scaling guide, official Hex documentation that we missed. Please don't miss it if you go to production. And excellent Honey Badger review of Elixir background jobs. Basically, all Elixir libraries from one that are still using Redis up to the Oban. Many thanks to my team, because this architecture for Oban and all the tips and tricks, that was team effort. So don't try to do it alone. It's much easier to do it as a team. To investigate all these documentations of the Oban, and thank you very much. I'm ready for your questions. Here you have the link for the presentation, and another one is for this rating this presentation.
Thank you so much, Karlo.
Thank you. If I can answer my first question for myself, that was why we can do this better for this failed currency rate, for this queue. So basically, first queue should be not chunk worker queue. You just put it to reprocessing. The beauty of the Oban, you do not need to do any error handling. Or error handling is done by Oban. You will have it in the Oban web. And then if this processing with some external system passes, then you send it into chunk worker that does not process well this error handling I mean, does not show them properly in Oban web.
Thank you.
Yes.
Karlo from Croatia.
Thank you.
Sorry for that.